Hello and welcome. I'm Carly with Hearts and Minds at Home, and today we are going to get into binding a book, and I am so excited to finally be doing this video after probably at least a year of wanting to and having my book printed and ready to go. A few years ago, I did a video on sewing a book binding at home, and that was a few kids ago. More time to get all the fun craft supplies out. The books are still holding up really well, even with use with several children. I still really like the way those came out and how well they are holding up. But there is an even quicker and still simple and affordable way to bind a book at home that a wonderful lady named Miss Atanya Allison from the Robinson Curriculum group on Facebook. She shared this in that group and it was a game changer. So I just wanted to put it out there for everyone to know and also give her a shout out to say thank you for sharing this. So the end result will look something like this. And you can even do them full 8.5 by 11. I like to print my books on 24-pound paper. I find the weight of that is good for reading, and you don't get a lot of the ghosting where you can see through the page the words that are on the other side. I've done this one booklet size, and I have a cover that I made on cardstock. You will also need a paper cutter. I have a Swingline Smart Cut. It's a rotary cutter. So this one can either perforate or crease or cut squiggly lines or cut straight lines. So we've got to make sure it's set to cut straight. And the next thing we'll need is a 2-hole punch. It just looks like this, little guy, punch, punch. And prong fasteners and book tape. So I think this is 2-inch book tape, but of course you can use wider if your book is larger, whatever size you need. I find the 2-inch so far I've been able to cover quite a bit with. There are a few mistakes I made the first time I did this. Let me try to find the first book. Yes, this was the first one that I ever did. But one thing I did not do was offset the binding, and so the words are really close to the middle, which is still readable. But if you offset the binding, you're going to get your words a little further out so that you can read it more easily. While we're talking about mistakes I made that I have not done again since the first one, I only used one set of the prong fasteners in it. I think it's best to do 2. Also, when you are taping it, it's best to start on the front so you can get a good straight line and then bring the rest back. It is a little stretchy, so if you're not careful, the line might wave a little bit. So if it's on the back of the book, it will just look better. One more mistake I made with the prongs. You'll see this when I get to the demonstration, but I put them in backwards, so it was more bulky on the front of the book. So let's get into it. All right, hopefully you can see what we're doing here. With the 8.5 by 11 paper, you're going to want to cut at the 5.5 inch mark. So there we have our front and back cover ready to go. I'm going to set those aside and cut all the pages. Okay, I am done cutting that book. So I've got my 2 piles here, 122 and page 121. So they should just go together nicely like that. Oops, bumped the camera. Okay. There we go, yay! And again, you'll want to flip through and double check the order of the pages. So I'm going to do that real quick and then we will get it together. This hole punch, which I'll link below along with the other supplies in case anyone's interested in doing this at home, has this little bar. You just adjust by hand to get it set where you want your holes to be. And again, I'm going to want 2 sets of holes. So we're going to put one down lower on the page. And then flip it to put your other set there. So here we go. Get that whole book punched. Okay, that is the end of the book. We just got to get the cover punched to go on the back. And stack it up straight. All right, time for the prongs. You're going to find those in the box and these. This is a set of 50, so you could essentially bind 25 books on one little box. And this is what I was referring to earlier when I mentioned I had put them in from the back, and then this ended up being on the front, which isn't a huge deal, but it will show through the tape just a little bit. So you're just going to bend them. We'll get them lined up. And I was rushing, so we don't have perfection here, but we're going just to show how simple it is. You can go as slow and careful as you want to when you're doing it at home. So we're just going to take a little at a time, get it through. This really is more simple when you're not recording a video. Okay, there we are. Next, you're going to take the back. This is the part I mentioned earlier that would cause some bulk, which is why I like to put it on the back of the book now. But there's one side that is raised and one side that's decompressed a little. So we want to have room for the prongs to lay down across this. There we go. And then you just slide those little bars over to hold it in place. Yay! This really is simple as 1, 2, 3. Cut, punch, prongs, tape. I guess that's 1, 2, 3, 4, but still simple. All right. The way I do the tape, make sure you're starting with a straight edge, and usually I cut these off, so mine is straight enough there. And I'm going to let it go past the bottom just a little bit, and I want to come just past the prongs and try to line it up with the top. I'm not worried about the bottom right now. We're just going to press all across, and we went a little crooked there, but that is okay for demonstration purposes. So then I take my scissors and then I cut the bottom to be even. You can pre-measure, pre-cut, whichever you prefer. Okay. And then you just come across the back. And this tape, the 2-inch tape, is almost not wide enough. I may have to invest in some others to print. And I went crooked there. It's from not watching my hands like I should because the camera's in the way. But you get the idea. And this will be a good time to show you other covers. Sometimes, in order to make a cover, for this one, for example, I just reprinted the front page of the book, the title page basically, onto the cardstock. In other instances where there's not much of a cover page, such as this one and this one, it really just had that information, and that was kind of plain So I just searched online for an image and typed up the title and the author and printed it that way. There have also been days when my printer, for whatever reason, was not cooperating with the cardstock, or I may have been out of cardstock. And in those cases, so what I did was I printed it on regular paper and put it into a sheet protector, which I then cut in half. And I just punched holes right through the sheet protector with the title page in it and taped it up along. So that has a sheet protector for the cover. Laminating may also be an option, or in one case I had cardstock, the printer wouldn't take it. What I did with these is I just printed the title and I used packing tape to just tape it on there. Okay, that is it, y'all. Very quick and simple, easy and affordable method to bind a book at home. Again, I'm so thankful to Mrs. Allison in the Robinson Curriculum official group on Facebook, which I'm sadly no longer a member of since I deleted my account, but I do miss it and I still enjoy sharing these tips. So I hope it was able to help someone today. Thank you so much for joining me. Please let me know if you have any questions in the comments. I will leave links to the products I used in the description below. I hope you have a wonderful day.